All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another round of Coffee and Questions. What's today's topic? Let's talk about step drill bits and the ones that you can get from out at Harbor Freight. And I'll show you some that I got actually online and the different quality in each one of these. Now, with the Harbor Freight ones, I bought the Warriors one time before in the past and I had returned them. Except one of the guys out at the club got a set of Warriors. He didn't want them, so he gave them to me, and I said, well, I already got the Hercules ones, and these are the Warrior ones. Now, I will tell you, the Warrior ones, they're nowhere as good as the Hercules ones. I'm going to switch. We'll go inside. I'll show you the advertisements on both of these, and we'll do questions and answers on them, and I'll explain to you why I think one is much better than the other. Now, with all of that, I've had for years, probably 8 years or more, I've had a much higher quality set. These are a thinner one right here. Okay, and I got these off Amazon years back, and I believe that they're still there, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to call up that page too, and I'm going to show you these. Now, these are made out of a really high quality steel, and they probably got much higher quality control standards, but you're going to pay a lot more for these. Depends on your usage. I feel there's nothing wrong with the Hercules brand at all, and I've been using them. So let's just switch inside. We'll go from there. I'll see you in just a sec. All right, folks. Well, we won't spend much time on the Warrior brand. I would tell you a few thoughts on the Warrior brand. It's like $20. You get the 20% off, drops it to $16. Is it worth it? No, it's not. Don't go by these reviews. I can tell you that right now. I don't even think I would give it 1 star. Now, the friend of mine out at the club threw them out, except for the 2 big ones that you saw that I had out in the garage. Now, I'll use them. If they're good for 1, 2, 3, cuts before I throw them out, that's fine. I got them for free. Otherwise I wouldn't bother with them. I'm not so sure. You might even have difficulty trying to go through butter with it. They just are a very poor quality metal all the way around. The other people out at the club, they took them back. Harbor Freight's fantastic about, no hassle exchanges. So they just took them back, and they actually ended up buying what I did, which was the Hercules. What were they using out at the club that burned them up? Sheet metal. So they can't even stand, boring through, just sheet metal, which is too bad because it should do that. We weren't trying any 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. And they just, like I said, they're just a poor quality metal, seriously. Well, I think the frustrating part for the people is not the no-hassle return policy of Harbor Freight. That's great. I think it's the time and the energy it takes to say, okay, I bought something, it's not working out, it's not up to the standard, now I got to drive all the way back out there and exchange it to go through the trouble. And I think that that's the frustrating part because nobody really wants to have to do that. Can I think of any use for these at all? Well, plastic. Plastic, you'd probably be okay and you'd get a lot of longevity out of them, but definitely not for metal. Okay, let's change over. Let's take a look at the others. Okay, now, I don't own these, but the people out at the club, there are 2 people out there that own them. They told me they are better than the Warrior, but they're not that much better, but they are better. Now, I'm not going to do like a complete in-depth thing on these because I really don't own them. But once I found out that the club members out there were much happier with the Hercules, it kind of sold me that between the 3, the sets, if I needed them, which I did, to go with the Hercules. So, just in a nutshell, these are probably a step up from the Warrior, but Hercules are better. Let's talk about the Hercules. And there are 2 different sets that you can get. I'll show you both. Okay, now this is the Hercules. Now this is one of the sets that you can buy. $39.99 less the 20% drops it down to around $32. Okay, let me show you the other one. Okay, now here's the other one. Now this is not the one that I own, but we use out at the club. The last picture is the one that I own. Okay, and then after that, I have some bits. We'll talk about those in a minute that I paid much more for, but they're made out of a much higher quality material and they're going to cost you more. But let's talk about the Hercules here, the cobalt step drill bit. 3-piece. So you got the $29.99, brings you down to around $24. And I would say, yes, they're worth it. Now let's go back for a second. Okay, now this is the set that I got, $39.99, standard 20% off, drops it to about $32. And I feel that these are an okay deal at $32. It's fine. you're not getting an outstanding deal, but these have got an incredible endurance as far as cutting. I've cut lots of sheet metal. I primarily use them on sheet metal. I'm not trying to cut through 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch steel, but lots of different gauges and thickness on the sheet metal. These things work like a champ. They're still holding an edge, so it's something that I would consider buying again, and they are a lower cost than some of the high dollar ones, that you can buy, which I'm sure have even a higher quality metal. But still, these are a good deal. They're an okay deal, like I said. All right, questions. One person does not like these. They said they are too aggressive and they grab too much when he's trying to go through even sheet metal. A lot of this might have to do with the lubricant that you're using. I don't know. I use a good drill lubricant, and I just, I don't sit there and try to go down like real quick on the drill press and get through it in one cut. I just sit there and I gently go down and I let the drill bit do its work and keep lots of lubricant on there, and I haven't had a problem. Now, the one thing I will agree with in the comments, if you're not careful using the step drill bit, you're going to go from one step to the other in a split second. Okay, that's true. Now, a lot of times I'll take a black Sharpie, kind of a felt marker, and I'll make a line all the way around where I want to stop at, okay? And then, I usually, dollar store has got magnifying, glasses, like 2.5 times, 2 times, whatever. I have a couple pair of those laying around out in the shop, and I use those when I'm really trying to watch something that I need to do that's precise, okay? Now, you may not have to do that, but it is, kind of a quick fix to make sure that you don't go from one step to another. You can use regular drill bits. I do agree with you. I think the step drill bits, they kind of save me time. And in a way, because I can quickly just keep doing different sized holes. If I've got a couple of different sized holes to do on the same piece of sheet metal, the step drill bit can accomplish that without me having to switch bits. I think they're handy, but yes, I'm sure that you can just use a standard drill bit of a particular size if that's what you want to do. I'm not disagreeing. Do I really think these are made with a lot of cobalt? I don't know. I can't tell you, but what I can tell you is how much cobalt was put into these. I have no idea. Was it a little or a lot? I'm not sure. I know, like I said, that these are the best of the 3 series between Bauer, Warrior. The Hercules, stands out to be a much better drill bit. You might pay a little bit more money for them, even with the discount, but you're not going to be unhappy because you're going to get a lot more use out of them. Yeah, I've got a couple of really high-end, step drill bits we'll talk about in a minute. They cut very smoothly, very precisely, and, all the way around for precision. They're great, but you're going to pay a lot more money. Now, for these, you may not get that fast, smooth cut, and it might take you a little bit longer, and you can get the smooth cut by plenty of lubricant, I believe. But look, for the price and the cost savings, these are worth it if you're an intermittent user. If you're going to use them, every day and you're a technician or you're in a shop, then you might want to opt for the higher quality, better kind of steel drill bits. I'll show you those in a minute, or the ones that I did buy. Another comment in here where he said, hey, I was using these step drill bits and it ruined my drill. I have an inexpensive drill, but it ruined it. Okay, look, you have a cheap drill and you put one of these in there, and I don't know what you're trying to drill through, and instead of ruining the bit, the Hercules bit, you ruined your drill. I don't know what to tell you on that. Buy a better quality drill. 3/8 to 1/2 inch, something that's got high torque that you can control the speed and keep a nice low speed, use good cutting oil, you're going to be fine. Most, not everything, but most of what I do is on a drill press, and it's easy to adjust the speed, and it's not hard to, of course, adjust, the torque or what I'm putting down on it, and a good cutting oil, like I said. Okay, so let's switch over. Let me show you the higher end ones that I buy and the ones that seem to be all the way around, higher quality. And the links below, if you want to read more into this, but let me show you. Okay, now you can buy a set of 2 of the Hercules, and that's fine. But if you knew what you were going to buy, like those 2 slender ones I showed you out in the shop, those are made by Klein. I've had them for years. One I bought probably, 8-9 months ago. The other 2 I've owned for years, and they still have an incredibly sharp cutting edge to them, and I still use them. And I have a couple of different sizes in the step drill bits, from Klein. Very high quality, bit, but it's $25 for one bit. You can go to the link below, you can read more about this, but it's kind of one of these things where you're going to get what you pay for. So take a look at it. Warrior, I wouldn't bother with. Bauer, If you're intermittent and it's kind of light duty, but you want something better than the Warrior, I suppose you could go with Bauer. I just didn't think they were all that great. I thought, the Hercules, in the series where you get, 2 or 3 of them or what have you, is a much better quality. And if you're intermittent, I think that they'll last you fine, provided you have, a nice slow cutting speed. You don't put too much torque behind them. You're using the cutting oil. Out at the forum, I'm sorry, I was going to say out at the the gathering, but that wasn't it. It was on the forum. A lot of these people sent a video clip in, and you can see where they have their drill presses going way too fast. I mean, to cut into metal, or they're using WD-40 instead of a good lubricant, for cutting oil, or they're coming down too hard, on the arm, and they're just burning these things up, and then they go, oh look, the drill bit's a piece of crap. Part of this comes from misuse, I mean, to be honest with you. So I kind of, when you read through this stuff, you kind of got to think, how are people using them? But when somebody posts these videos and say, hey, go check this out, I can prove to you that this is not what you say it is. Well, I don't want to criticize you, but you're using it wrong. I mean, so usually it comes from one of those 3 factors. It's either you're not using the correct lubricant, you're putting too much torque on them, or you have, the drill set at too high of a speed. Even a hand drill, I mean, they just go full throttle and they just sink, I mean, a lot of pressure and put their weight into it, and they want this thing to glide through like in 2 seconds, and then they burn it up. I mean, so part of this, has to do with the understanding on how to use the tool to begin with, okay? So these are my thoughts on all this. The links are below, okay, on, if you want to read more, I mean, about this Klein. And the Klein will work on just as smoothly on wood as it does on metal. I have used it on wood. I mean, that statement in here is true. All right, so if you like these reviews and stuff, I mean, give me a thumbs up. I hope you click subscribe, but this is kind of like my overall view between the club, the forum. I mean, as I gather information, I kind of compile it, then I make a video and I share it with you folks. If you disagree, drop a comment below. If you know something that's a better deal, drop it in the comment below. I think, like I said, the Hercules, intermittent use, it's great. It's standing up so far. I've used the crap out of it on all the sheet metal and stuff, like I said, but nothing, it's coming close to quarter, half inch or anything like that. The Klein, I use my Kleins for, holes, in a little bit thicker steel, so like 1/8 and stuff like that. And it glides through great. It's obviously made out of a superior steel. It's obviously got superior, quality control standards that it has to meet. But like I said, $25 for 1 bit. I didn't mind paying it. It's definitely outlasted, I mean, everything that I've had in the terms of step drill bits. So I would buy these again too. All right, click subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Let me see you on the next video. You folks have a great day. Bye-bye.